Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
They were scheduled for arraignment 2 hours ago on charges of involuntary manslaughter, but the parents of the suspected Oxford High School shooter have yet to turn themselves in.
Tonight, their attorney says they are not running from the law. Glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 6. It has been a day of disturbing new details in the Oxford High School shooting, along with what appears to be a major communication breakdown between authorities.
Live team coverage here at 6. Karen Drew has a look at two very different accounts of red flags surrounding the shooting suspect's behavior. But let's begin with Sean Lay on today's new charges and the whereabouts of Ethan Crumbley's parents. Sean.
Kimberly, tonight, the parents, if convicted, facing 15 years in prison max for both of them if convicted. But more about the communication breakdown. The sheriff's office tells me tonight the prosecutor did not tell them the charges were coming this morning, blames the miscommunication on the prosecutor. The parents' attorney tells me that she had a deal to turn the parents in once they were charged, but she never heard back from anyone, only learned of the charges from the prosecutor's noon news conference. Sources telling me tonight the parents were not under surveillance this morning when they vanished. Sources telling us the parents were holed up in a motel last night and law enforcement was watching them. By this morning, law enforcement at the motel had left. We are told due to miscommunication between agencies. No one was watching the couple, we're told, as they were free to flee the area. At noon today, Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald announced both James and Jennifer Crumbley were being charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for buying Ethan Crumbley the handgun. The parents and school were presented hours before the shooting with incredibly alarming, violent pictures on Ethan Crumbley's desk, along with the words, "Help me." The school allowed Crumbley to remain at school. Prosecutors say the parents did not tell the school they had just bought their son a semi-automatic handgun.
I am angry. I'm angry as a mother. I'm angry as the prosecutor. I'm angry as a person that lives in this county.
Also at noon today, Judge Julie Nicholson approved the charges against the parents. An Oakland County Sheriff's investigator told the judge that they were headed to arrest the parents and have them back in court by 4 today.
I will do the video arraignment at 4 o'clock. Is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Be aware the suspects are not in custody at this point.
Okay.
So.
The parents' attorney says the couple would turn themselves in once they were charged. However, we're told by sources James and Jennifer Crumbley withdrew $4,000 from an ATM and haven't been seen since. So who was surveilling the parents, and if they weren't being surveilled, why? Well, here's the latest. The Oakland County Undersheriff tells me tonight he has no knowledge that the parents were being surveilled last night. I asked the U.S. Marshals moments ago if they were watching the parents. The response here, they have never seen the parents but are looking for them right now. The couple's attorney says they will turn themselves in, but she did not respond when I asked them when that'll happen, where that'll happen, if she's in contact with them, and why did they withdraw $4,000? Back to you.
All right, Sean, we'll keep, although someone did mention that they may need the money to pay an attorney for a retainer fee. We will continue to follow what's happening there. But two very different portrayals, though, have emerged about the suspected shooter's behavior in the days and hours leading up to the tragedy at the school.
What we heard from prosecutor Karen McDonald today differs greatly from what Oxford Superintendent Tim Throne said in a statement that we showed here on Local 4 News last night at 11. Karen Drew is here to break down what each of them said. Karen.
Well, Kim and Devin, I know your parents and you've been talking to parents. I can tell you what they're saying to me. How did the school handle this? And they could have done a better job. I think a lot of people are saying there is some miscommunication there. Why, when Ethan Crumbley was brought to the school office that morning and he had written on his homework at 8:58, "Please help me," and had some very troubling threats, did the school not do any more? Now, the superintendent says he did his job. And Karen McDonald has a lot to say about that.
First and foremost, your job is to protect the well-being and safety of the students in that building.
Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald reacting to the fact School Superintendent Tim Throne said this.
No discipline was warranted. There are no discipline records at the high school.
If they say that he had no discipline records, I don't dispute that. I don't know for certain, but I don't know. We're not talking about disciplining the shooter. We're talking about what was known or was there reason to believe or anything of concern regarding a violent act.
Could school officials face charges of criminal negligence? The prosecutor says the investigation continues.
You err on the safe side. If you're saying to a parent that we're so concerned that he needs counseling and we have 2 back-to-back behaviors that indicate violence, sending him back to class, I mean, now I think the parents were in position to know that he had access to a deadly weapon. I'm struggling with the statements of the superintendent.
Struggling with the statements from the superintendent. I can tell you the nation is watching how school leaders are treated, just watching how these parents, as we said, have just been charged and how this case continues to change and move hour by hour. We'll stay on top of it tonight here. Meantime, we are live outside of the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. I'm Karen Drew, Local 4.
Okay, Karen, thank you. And amid everything going on with the investigation and prosecution, the community of Oxford continues to try to heal.
Let's bring in Jason Colthorpe now in Oxford with that part of the story. Jason.
Yeah, good evening, guys. A vigil here that has been planned all week begins at about 7 o'clock here, and thousands of people are already here in downtown Oxford, several more walking in as we speak. And if you take a look behind me, I'm going to show you where it's going to be. If you see that traffic light down in the distance, they've already brought in a mobile stage where people will gather around, and they will have this, really, this is for healing. It's to bring people together. It's to share love and to grieve together tonight. And there is a long list of speakers who are going to talk here, local, state, federally elected officials, including Governor Whitmer. She will speak here tonight. But I've just, in walking up and down the streets, of course we're keeping a safe distance, the media is here, to let this breathe. But as we walk up and down the streets, you keep hearing the same things. We're all Wildcats. Once a Wildcat, all a Wildcat. Everybody coming together, and you'll be able to watch that live on clickondetroit.com tonight. We're live in Oxford. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
We'd urge you to check out that link. All right, Jason. In Rochester, an emotional tribute on the campus of Oakland University today for the victims.
More than 300 OU students either live in Oxford or went to the high school there. They gathered this morning for tributes and expressions of grief for an entire community looking for solace.
I'm picturing those hallways in my head. You know, I know what it looks like in there. I've spent 4 years there, and that's such a safe place to me, but I know that on Tuesday that was not a safe place.
We've collectively experienced so much trauma. To be up there singing, didn't think it was going to get me as much as it did, and I realized, you know, the importance of moments like this.
We're told several petitions are gaining steam online to rename the football field as well as other facilities to honor the victims. Many families and educators are struggling to figure out next moves beyond today and getting back to school and back to their lives.
Our Paula Tutman had a chance to talk with someone who has been through this type of tragedy before, someone who found a way to move forward.
I want you to just look at these school closings. I mean, this is proof positive that the trauma isn't just in Oxford, but it radiates throughout so many neighboring communities. One parent who knows is part of that club no parent wants to be a part of, the one where your child is murdered in a mass shooting. Nicole Hockley is one of those parents. Her son Dylan was killed almost exactly 9 years ago at Sandy Hook Elementary School with 19 of his young classmates and 6 staff members.
My heart breaks for the parents whose children were murdered, for those that were wounded, and certainly for the community, because that feeling of safety is forever gone now.
She says right now it seems unimaginable that we as a community can get past this.
It's a terrifying process, and it is a day-by-day process. So rushing into any decisions, rushing into trying to normalize the situation, I would strongly advise against that.
Parents afraid to send their children to school, children afraid to go to school, educators trying to figure out what's next with schools. She says it takes time to develop an emotional roadmap and a physical plan to move forward. One important aspect, though, is parents being authentic with their fears and anxieties while not projecting them onto their children.
There were incredibly dark moments that I had after the murder of Dylan, but I have a surviving son. that I need to look after.
For educators scrambling to rethink protocols and security measures, she advises that they do not do it in a vacuum, but share their thinking process and giving students in each individual community a real voice in a way back.
All sense of control and safety has been stripped away from them right now. So give them some of that control back by allowing them a voice and to be part of the solution as to how you go forward. For me and my surviving son, because he was at the school the day of the shooting, he heard and saw things. So I knew he was still dealing with extreme shock, but he also needed to know that his friends and teachers were there.
And for the parents of Hannah, Madison, Tate, and Justin, and the other students who were injured, she knows your pain, and she offers herself to you if you need her.
You will survive this and find a way forward to honor the child that you lost and also to honor their life through living your own.
Paula Tutman, Local 4.
All right, Paula. Let's move to the latest now on the coronavirus. The state reporting more than 18,000 cases over the last 2 days, so the average back up 9,000 cases per day, nearly the highest daily total since the start of the pandemic. Sadly, we have lost 277 more Michiganders to the virus during that same time period. Reinforcements have arrived at one local hospital that, like so many others, is dealing with an overload of COVID patients. Grant Herms live in Dearborn, where the staff has been boosted courtesy of the U.S. military. Grant.
And Devin, this help could not have come at a better moment. The hospital said today that their staff is stretched very thin and they're dealing with an increase in violence from patients and their families as people continue to fill their hospital during this latest surge.
Metro Detroit getting more help in the fight against COVID, this time from the U.S. military. Today, a U.S. Army medical team based out of Louisiana and Texas began their work at Beaumont Dearborn, where staff is desperately needed as beds fill up again with COVID patients.
Currently in Beaumont Health, we have about 620 COVID patients throughout the health system. This is on top of all the normal traditional care that we provide at this time of year. That's about a 200% increase in COVID patients since September 30th.
The new military team is made up of 14 critical care nurses, 4 doctors, including 2 focusing on critical lung care, respiratory therapists, and 3 command and control members. The 23-member team was requested by Governor Gretchen Whitmer through FEMA and is the 3rd sent by the Department of Defense to Michigan. This team coming after spending 60 days in Mississippi.
So we have a lot of experience and lessons learned to hopefully apply here in the state of Michigan. Generally, our team will be assisting in the ICU and in the emergency department to reduce patient ratios and certainly to provide better care. So hopefully, if someone's infected with COVID, they can have a better outcome.
Help arriving when it's needed most, again.
Now, officials here at Dearborn Beaumont said that they couldn't say exactly why they were chosen to receive this U.S. Army medical team, but they said that they will help alleviate some of that stress from their staff and allow them to take in referrals and transfers from other hospitals that are over capacity across Metro Detroit this evening. Devin, back to you.
Yeah. All right, Grant.
All right, coming up, Paul's updated weekend forecast, plus here's Jamie.
A big key to victory here tomorrow night will be Michigan's big defensive end. And for him, it's all in the family.